crafty friends. Welcome to our very first club along for 2026.
And a new time.
Oh, we are?
Yeah.
We are showing.
Yeah.
We're broadcasting a little bit later, so you guys, that's going to be your first job to enter in the comments if this is a good time for our club along, if you like it earlier, maybe even like it later. Who knows?
Yeah. So we thought we'd try something different for 2026.
Yeah. So I am Kim, by the way. We are broadcasting here from Spellbinders in Phoenix, Arizona, and I'm with
Josie Cerencioni.
Yay! We are definitely here for the December kind of / January club along. We always like to cover 2 months. We know so many of you loved both of the months of the kits, so we just thought, you know what, let's craft away. Maybe you're still working on December things, which was kind of a little love Valentine theme, or maybe you've already received your January clubs and you're diving right in. So we're going to cover both of those months. It'll be a fun afternoon here.
Should we just jump right in?
Yeah, let's jump in. We're going to first go over our December clubs, and then we're going to have, of course, a guest artist.
Yes,
that'll be fun. We'll introduce her in just a minute, but let's start with December.
So like Kim already mentioned, like this was kind of Valentine's, but also kind of self-care and self-love.
Yeah, what's the name of this collection?
The name of this one is called What Matters Most.
Love it.
And I'm going to jump right in, and we're going to start off with the small die. So the small die is called, let me just move this over, Better Together. And you get these great little, these owls and these cute little otters.
Cute.
Yes.
Let's put them up a little bit higher. So fun. So again, kind of a love theme, but I love that so many of these cards, like you just said, can be used year-round, evergreen, anytime you want, just a fun little thinking of you, love you, care for you.
It's easy, just change the colors and you have a completely different card.
And people are just definitely loving the otters. I've seen so many cards popping up on social media using those little guys.
And the next one is the large die, and this one is called Wrapped in Care. And we were talking about this earlier. I have seen some amazing projects online. Somebody went ahead. If you guys are part of our Spellbinders Insiders group, if you go on there and look, somebody did most of the Disney princesses, including the Wicked, out of this. It's amazing.
Very versatile die is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Look at the little shaped cards. So cute.
And you've got the cucumbers, spa day, you've got the wrap on the head, and you can also make a shaped card, or it fits on an A2 card.
Yep.
And again, this one is called Wrapped in Care, and people are having so much fun with this set.
I've seen a lot of cards people have been making like for their moms or sisters. I think that's so sweet. So keep this guy around when Mother's Day rolls around.
And next we have the stitch die, and this one is called A Perfect Blend. And it's just these two little mugs that when they're put together create this stitched heart.
So sweet.
And again, this is another evergreen one. If you change the colors or you leave the hearts off, you can make cards all year round with this.
Absolutely. We've got a lot of coffee and tea drinkers out there. And by the way, the super cute love you sentiment is included in there. It's not on this card right here, but love those big words.
Yep, and you also get a couple of the strips, the sentiment strips. So that's
cute.
The stitch die.
Stitch die for December.
Next we have the Glimmer, and this one is called Soft Hearted. And again, this is an evergreen plate. It does have this little heart, but change the color, and this can be used all year round.
So sweet. I gotta hold it so we can have our shiny glitter show. Ooh.
Oh yeah, the foil. I forgot. To pull
glimmer.
The foil. And the foil that you get is bright pink.
Aw, perfect. Look at it with the little owl. And this has 2 sentiments or 3? 2, I guess, with the matching die.
Yep.
Love that. Cute. So Glimmer of the Month.
Next we have our Better Press, and this one is called I Pick You. And I think this had some of our favorite sentiments. I love you even when I'm hungry. And you're the one I want to annoy forever.
I like that one.
That was the favorite in the office. And again, it's just kind of this great little graphic heart, and this has the otter from Small Die.
The little small die on top. Love it. And just love that crisp black and white too. How gorgeous is that? I wish you guys could touch it. I say that all the time.
I know.
I'm like, wish you could touch this better.
And then next we have the stamp and the Stamp and Die. And here's just a sentiment here, but this is full of sentiments to support the whole collection.
Love. And all those matching dies, gorgeous. 14 different sentiments in there, guys. So darling.
Next we have the stencil, and this is a layered stencil. This is 5 layers, and this is called Where Love Lands. And this is another one, even though it does have this heart, it still is an evergreen stencil. If you stencil it without the heart, you just have the bird on the flower, or you can do just the bird, you can do just the flowers, or you can even do a background with the hearts.
Perfect.
So there's a lot of different ways that you can use the stencil here.
Yeah, and the stencil packaging, by the way, always does have kind of the little colorization on the back. I mean, this doesn't show too much, but don't forget to flip it over. Love it.
Next we have the 3D folder, and this one is called Unlock My Heart. And it's just this all over pattern. There we go. You can see it there. You can see all the little puffy hearts. It's got keys, it's got locks. It's even got this little jigsaw puzzle pieces.
So cute.
Yeah, it's just a great background. And here it is inked.
And here you're seeing the otters with, we didn't really mention that earlier, but you can do the little sentiments inside or leave those off. So again, so much versatility on that small die.
Next we have the 2D folder, and this one is called Sweet Stems. And it's just, it's a striped pattern of these stems with little hearts and then just these little flowers. Let's see if we can get a better, there we go.
There we go.
You guys can see that.
It's almost got like that little sweater pattern, you know, like the Fair Isle or whatever.
And then
channeling my 80s.
the stamp set.
Cute. And that's the 2D. It's really gorgeous.
Yeah, and then we have the wax seal, and this one is called Heart First. And we did it in the arch, and it's a 3D heart. There you go, with some rays coming out of it. And then I know this is odd, but we did pick the Christmas colors because it actually has a lot of colors that you can use for Valentine's Day. And this was like a mix that we haven't done, and people do like this mix.
Got the red, the white, the gold, all your good colors.
And here's those mugs in a different color.
Love it. These look kind of retro. I love that vibe.
I do too.
Fun.
And then as always, you get a bonus item. And now the bonus item was only available in the caboodle, and it works with the lady.
I had almost forgotten about this little guy. Cute.
So it's just the sleep mask.
Yep.
And then you get these 2 slippers, or 1 slipper that you can create 2 little bear slippers.
So cute. So again, when you order the caboodle, which of course in 2026 now has changed its little name to the All Clubs crate, but you will always get, either way, just a fun little bonus item. This is something Josie comes up with that's coordinates with one of the other dies, but there we have December. Oh my gosh, so much fun.
All the goodies.
And I have a feeling we're going to bring in our guest now, who's actually, Yana, of course, will be with us. She'll be on a little bit later, but we're going to bring our guest designer in first because she did a lot of things with the December clubs. And I think she used a lot of the December clubs. So we're so excited to welcome Nichol Spohr. Nicole, come on in.
Hello. Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Before we went live, we were teasing Nicole a little bit. I was like, you used a lot of the clubs today. I'm so excited.
I think you used all of them.
I did. I love to mix and match.
You do, and you're the master of that. You do such an amazing job at that, and you're wearing a heart sweater.
I am. Aww. I tried to be theme specific today.
You know, we're going to go ahead and make Nicole's screen bigger, and she's going to walk you through the amazing projects she has to share. And I'm super excited. I'm super excited to have a seat and just watch. And Nicole is live, by the way, so this is live. We don't always have our guests live, but she's live, so definitely jump in there in the chat and chit-chat with us while Nichol creates.
Awesome. Thank you. Hey, everybody. So like Kim and Josie were saying, I absolutely love to mix and match. So we are going to be using, let's see, 1, 2, 3, about 6 of the different clubs in our cards today. I'll be mixing and matching all of the different components. But what we're going to do first to make this a little less labor intensive, because we are going to do 3 cards, is I am going to do all of my foiling first, which ties in really, really nicely to the monthly challenge over on the Spellbinders blog, which is the Glam Foil and Shine. So we're going to be glimmering not only our glimmer of the month, but also the better press today, as well as some sentiments. I'm going to flip my camera. I've got my glimmer hot foil system all warmed up, and we're going to dive right in. All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you for the nice comments on my sweater. Okay, so for one of my cards here, we are going to use the Better Press, the I'd Pick You heart. And kind of the theme behind my cards today is simple, sweet pairs. So that means we're going to have a pair of owls, a pair of otters, and a pair of mugs. And what I've done I have grabbed a couple of other favorite products. So this is the Perfect Touch Arches, and I've die cut one of these already, and we're going to take our Better Press heart and we're going to foil it with a little white foil on some windy cardstock. Oh, hello, Leah. Hello, Scarlet Designs. So I am obsessed with the white and the opal foils. I use them all of the time. And because I kind of want this to fall in a certain place on here, I'm going to just kind of hold it up to the light. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just kind of want it, I don't actually want it perfect. I want it a little off center. And then we'll just pop it in here. And I've already got my machine all nice and warm so we can do all of our foiling. Simple Sweet Pears, yes. Oh, just got your glimmer yesterday. That's awesome. We'll break it out of the box and get to making all of the beautiful foiled projects. I'm going to scoot this over a little bit. The other thing we're going to use, because of course we need our die cut machine to run our platform through, I'm going to use my lilac shimmer. These are 15% off at Spellbinders right now. So if you love the beautiful lilac shimmer, this is a great time to get it. Let me show you the beautiful design. Mine is much, much loved. Look how pretty. I love my die cut machine. You have the white foil in your stash. Perfect. It is amazing. I love it so much. So we're going to foil this. This will be the background for one of our cards. Oh, all snowed in. Oh my goodness. We're waiting for it to come this way. Okay. So now that it's all heated up, I am going to just pop this out and roll it through. And let's hope that it looks amazing. Oh, thank you, Donna. I'm so glad to see you here today too. And I always like to just pop my platform right back in here so it's heating up for the next thing, especially when I'm doing tons of different foiling. And we're just going to peel that away. And I love the beautiful, soft white on this windy cardstock. Maybe if I pull it, it doesn't show great with the lights I have here in the filming, but it looks so beautiful in real life. And what is great, and Josie and Kim touched on this, is that these products can be used for many different occasions, not just Valentine's. I kind of went with more of a friendship type of theme for my cards today. So the next thing we're going to foil is a sentiment for this card. And I'm also going to foil this in white. Oops. Where did I set that white? We're going to just cut a small little thin strip. And foil that. So let me just pop that there. And I've got another piece, just a little scrap of the windy cardstock. And we'll go ahead and foil that one as well. Pull out your white foil. Yes, please do. So the other foil, and I'm just going to get this ready while we're waiting, is I am going to foil our Glimmer of the Month with the soft-hearted background. And we're going to do the opal foil for this. And the trick to the opal foil, because it's so super hard to tell which side, is I always just kind of leave it on the roll so that I can just roll it out to size. And we're going to do the whole background for this one. So I'll roll it out and go ahead and get it trimmed up. Just like this, and get it ready to go. And before we get our cardstock on there. I like to kind of assembly line style. Who else likes to Opal is fabulous. Yana says, yes, it is. It's like my favorite. I love it. It always is beautiful. Okay, let's go ahead and pop this one through. So each of my 3 cards today is going to have a little touch of foiling to it. And you don't have to do the whole design to make it look amazing. So again, I'm just popping that right back in there, and then let's take a look at the reveal. It's super soft, but I think it's going to be awesome. And we can, of course, use the coordinating die to cut out that greeting. Let's go ahead and do our big background. We have 2 pieces left to foil. And then we get to start putting together some fun little pieces I've die cut off camera with the magic of video today. Once I have my glimmer out, I do everything I have before I put it away. Yes, Donna, exactly. And that way, if we get all of this done right now, we can concentrate on the assembly of each of the cards. I need to do more foiling and stop hoarding it. Yes, you do, Aileen, definitely. Okay, the final thing we're going to glimmer today is actually not a glimmer plate. So while this is heating up, I am actually taking the Let's Chat Soon sentiment from the Stitching Die of the Month, which is the perfect blend. And this is a die cut, but I love foiling this particular sentiment. So we're going to foil it with a little bit of the white foil. So then we can die cut it with the coordinating banner. If you've never tried foiling your dies, I highly recommend giving it a try and seeing what you think. Scarlet Design says that she now foils everything. I love it. Once you start, it's hard to stop. Okay, this is the big background. Let's see what it looks like. This is that beautiful soft-hearted. I didn't get it foiled at the very top. It looks like it shifted, but we don't need the whole thing, so we're good. Let me see if I can tilt it. There we go. Look at that opal foil. So pretty. It's just a super soft tone-on-tone design that looks amazing every single time. All right, so let's foil our die now. And then we can put together all of our cards. Sneaking in from work during lunch. Marta, that's amazing. I love that. A question, does foil get old if not used? I have used old foil and not had any trouble, but maybe Yana or Kim or Josie has more they can tell us about that. On steroids. This is like a watermark, but on steroids. Oh my gosh, I didn't read that. Yes, that's a great way to put it. Look how pretty. I'm just obsessed with this opal foil. It's so beautiful. Okay, so when we get this done, we're actually going to start with our little pair of owls card, and that is going to feature our beautiful little heart background here. So I'll show that. Let's foil this first. Perfect. And we're just going to, I didn't get this centered either, but luckily I have another one here I can show you. But I just wanted to show how foiling a die works great. Normally, I center it a little bit better than that, but of course I'm live. It's not. Magic of camera, I promise I have a good one for you guys. Or magic of video. Okay, so let me move my glimmer. And we're going to shift our die machine out of the way for a minute. And we are going to start working on our owls card. And I've got all my little pieces here. And we're going to start by building our background, and then we're going to put our owls here on top. And let me zoom in just a tad. So what I thought, I love a good tone-on-tone background, but I love to have lots of great texture. And on the background for this, I actually used a wonderful script embossing folder here from Spellbinders, and there's a link to it in the description. And I embossed the same color of Windy cardstock, and I took a white ink pad and rubbed it over the top. And I am going to show you that technique in one of my cards here in a little bit. Next, I have die cut another one of my little arches here because I wanted to have a little bit of shadow for that really pretty tone-on-tone background. So we're going to glue this in place. And then we're going to start adding our little pair of owls. So far, this card features the Better Press of the month. And then we're going to use the small die of the month. And we're going to pull in a sentiment from the, we're using a sentiment from the Glimmer. And we're going to use the die cut sentiment from our stitching die of the month. The opal is beautiful on black. Yes, it is. It really, really is. That embossing folder is so good. I love a good text background, especially a scribbly one, and it adds just enough interest. So we're just going to glue this right on down. And then we're going to start adding our little owls. And what I did today is one of my owls is pretty well put together. But we are going to assemble the other one so we can show a little bit about this and I can talk about it a little bit. So let me grab all of my pieces. And I'm going to go ahead and figure out where I want my branch to go on my card before we put our owl down, and then we'll build our second owl. Something I like to do a lot with mine is I love adding a little bit of shading. So you'll notice that this owl isn't super quote unquote flat. There's going to be a little bit of ink added to the pieces. So I want to leave a little space down below, and I don't want to completely cover up the heart. So I think that looks about good. I want to leave a little room down here to add our foiled sentiment strip. So again, magic of camera, we have a little glad we're friends. I'll just pop that in place too. I went ahead and die cut that with the coordinating die. And one of the things I love about the coordinating dies for foiling is you don't have to try to get your foiling in the perfect spot on your panel. You can foil it on a separate piece of paper, die cut it, and then pop it in place. And I love to do a tone on tone. So it gives you that dimension, but it just kind of flows right back into that background. Anything script background, Scarlet Design says yes. Okay, so for our owl, let's go ahead, well, let's leave her there for a minute. She's going to get a little headdress of flowers. We're going to take just some easy gray and neutral inks here, gray and a little soft brown. So I'm using some fog cardstock for my owls today, and I'm just going to, on the fog pieces, take my mini blending brush and add a little bit of shading. Doesn't have to be a lot. Just a little bit, so it's just has a little dimension to it. And then we'll see what brown I have still on my blending brush. I might have a little bit. We're going to take and just add a little bit of our brown to the alabaster pieces for our owl. Tone on tone looks beautiful. Thank you. Also the little tail pieces. And again, I'm not trying to completely cover up the alabaster, give it a little bit of interest. And then even on my red that I'm using for the owl body, I might need a little more ink. I like to use generally like some sort of a soft neutral or even a little darker neutral, depending on the color of cardstock. This is poppy, but I feel like that shows up better generally than a red does. And then we're going to start putting our owl together. So on the back of the face piece, I'm going to go around the eyes first. And I'm going to line up the layering back behind the owls. And then my favorite thing, no teeny tiny inlay. We're going to just add some glue right back here. And I've already got my little black die cut piece, whoops, that goes right back behind. And when you flip it over, our little face just pops. We're also going to layer the tail pieces. Like this. There we go. And then this owl has the nice little layering piece on the head. You'll notice one does and one doesn't. I love that there's a little difference between the two. What I love is this can be for Valentine's, definitely. But I think that it's going to really work for kind of any time. Just makes a really lovely friendship type of card. Okay, so on this owl, you might notice that the heart body has a little gray shadow. That's one of my best tips for adding a little bit of lift if you don't want to add foam. So I did it for my arch. We're also going to do it for our heart for the body of our little owls. So on this one, I'm just going to go in, layer that anchor color right back behind, just shifting it over just a tiny little bit. And that is the little body for our owl. And then we can just layer these pieces together. Just like this. Okay, let me do a little inky cleanup. While he's flipped over, I'm going to put some foam on the back, and we are going to pop both of these owls on our card and then finish it up with our sentiments and the fun embellishing. Always my favorite part. Love the shadowing. Thank you. Oh, hello from Portugal. Nice. Spellbinders cardstock is the best, isn't it? Hi, Christy. I am obsessed. This windy color is one of my favorites. Okay, before I put this down, let's go ahead. I want them to be all snuggled up, like they're best buddies here on the little branch, right? And we're going to kind of do this where we put them together. There we go. And I kind of love them shifted over to the right just a little bit. Let's see, Judy says she loves that they get cardstock in the crate now. I know, I agree. I love that too. Okay, you'll notice I did that same shadow. It looks better. You can see it better on this for the love you. I wanted, because my sentiment that I foiled is going to be so light, I didn't want this to be like super glaring in your face. So I also die cut the love you from the stitching of the month, the perfect blend, out of Windy and just layered it on to that anchor color. And then we're just going to kind of pop that kind of like right like this. Lining it up more with our owls than the little arch there. Look how cute! Okay, fun part, all of the fun little greenery, florals, and all of that good stuff. So I do have quite a few of these ready to go. in my little craft stacks. Who loves the craft stacks like I love craft stacks? So easy to keep all of our little bits and pieces organized, right? Okay, so I did take a little green ink. This is the Peridot cardstock, and I love it, but it's a little too limey. So I really like to add a little green inking to this, but I love leaving that base of the Peridot color. I think it looks so good with a lot of our springy time colors or our Valentine's-ish colors. Just those lighter pastels. Craft stacks are the best, aren't they? Yes, I agree. So you'll notice that all of my little greenery has a little bit of fun shading to it. All right, we're just going to go in now. And this is what really pulls the whole card together. We're going to add all of the fun little florals. Now there is a die to die cut all the little flower centers, but Spellbinders gives us so many awesome gems that I actually just used those for all of my little flower centers today. So that's what we're going to use. The craft stacks are so great. Never knew how much I needed it until I started using them. Same. And now I find them all full half the time. And I'm like, oh no, I need more. The craft stacks might be your favorite product, Leah says. Yes. They do help keep you organized, especially if you can't finish a project all in one evening. You know, maybe you get all your pieces die cut, like I kind of had things die cut for this today. And then later in the week, you can come back and kind of put it all together, which is really nice. So we're going to add some little gems to her little flowers there, but I'm also going to just start adding in some of my bigger flowers. And I can put some little foam squares back behind those. Aren't they a cute little couple? Did I miss from the beginning? Hello, Amy. No, I'm just on the first card, but we have a couple more to make, and then Yana will be up too. So you've definitely have not missed very much. And then around the flowers, that's where I'm going to just start kind of tucking in the greenery. And to me, the greenery is what ties it all together. I'm just going to do that. And there's even a little link there. If you don't have any craft stacks, definitely grab some. There's a link in the chat. And grab the magnets. I don't think I put the magnets in mine today, but I do love, love, love the magnets. You can put your dies. I have my dies just thrown in here, but it's much better if you use those little magnets. Okay, so for my flowers as well, I have these all cut from tutu and chiffon cardstock, and I'm just taking whatever's left on my red detail blending brush and adding a little color, not a ton, but I like a little bit of color added to that. For the big ones, for the little flowers, I'm just leaving those as is. The glimmer machine just arrived. Oh my goodness, that's so exciting. I love it. All right, so we're gonna add just a couple more leaves, add some gems, and then the only thing left is to attach this to a card base. Easy as that. One of my favorite things about the clubs is the fact that they coordinate so beautifully. So you can totally mix and match, and you can even pull from your other favorite products that you have in your stash or past months clubs. Just have fun with it. Love the hearts. They're so fun. All the little touches are just incredible. We're going to kind of build out the greenery out here on the left side a little bit more than on the right, just simply because the right side is so heavy with our owls, and that kind of just extends the design a little bit. And I like lots of greenery, so I cut that little greenery die multiple times. We'll just tuck all those underneath. And there we go. So some little gems are all we need. I've got some opal gems here that we're going to use. Oh my goodness, yes, they're white magnets. I'll see if I do have some. I'll grab them here in a little bit because they're not even far. If I get all my cards down, I'll show them here in just a second. But they are fantastic. And then I want to put some of these little teeny tiny gems up here in these little flowers on her little, kind of her little crown of flowers that she's wearing. Just like that. Make sure I didn't miss any of the gems from my flowers. I don't think so. And there is our sweet little owls. Aren't they adorable? And it's just a really fun little card. I even think it would make a cute maybe wedding card or engagement card or shower gift or something like that. Shower card, rather. Okay, so while we have our small dies out, I could not just stop with the owls. I thought we definitely need to make a card with the otters. Don't you guys think? And that's going to be the card that we use our beautiful full background here for, which is the soft-hearted background. Now, I actually trimmed mine down, and I'm using some of the nested postage labels for that. Thank you, guys. So I am going to use the biggest size from that, and let's go ahead and grab this so we can talk about what's inside of here. So this is that background. There we go. I do have something already stuck to here. So I used the largest rectangle from that postage set, and that is on the chiffon cardstock again. And then we're going to mat it on the poppy cardstock. And then I do have another piece of chiffon for back behind because that's going to be A2 sized, but I liked how it looked like the soft pink, red, and then soft pink. So let's go ahead and glue that down. I thank you, Otter. That is pretty clever, Kim. I love it. I mean, just wait till you see how cute they are. I'm obsessed with them. So one of my favorite color combos is pink and red. I do love hearts, as evidenced by my little heart sweater I'm wearing today. I have lots of heart sweaters, actually, but I just love adding little hearts to everything. So you're going to notice a theme for this card where we're going to repeat the wonderful little heart here. So this little heart also is from that small die of the month. And there's kind of what our background looks like. Now, just to save a little bit of time, I did use our stamp and die set, the Simply Said set, and I have got multiple greetings from this. So here I have stamped, and I kind of did what I did with the foiling on our first card, where we foiled on the same color as the background. This time we stamped on the same color as our background using a red ink. Postage for the win, Donna says yes. So one of my absolute favorite little ways to incorporate multiple greetings is to kind of stagger them through my cards. So for this, it's going to kind of read, for my forever friend. Let me put the stamp set next to it. For my forever friend, from your favorite person, you're stuck with me. I thought that was so funny. It'd be a great card to send to your bestie or whatever, because I think it's just adorable. So Let's bring in one of our little otters. Look how cute they are. Now, I haven't completely attached them because I wanted to show before we ink up and add the otters to our card. I chose to not use the words that go on the stomachs just because I have a lot of other words going on here today. But you have a couple of options for the arm placement. So on this one, we're going to be gluing this body down and kind of having the arms out to the sides. Oh, thank you so much, Judy. And then this little otter, we're going to use the arms and have this one holding a little heart. So let's go ahead and glue down the arms on this one. And just like I did with the owls, I'm going to add some really quick and easy shading. It doesn't have to be anything too extravagant. Just a little bit, and you can see the cute little face. Now, I do want to mention I'm using the Fashion Jet pearls for the eyes and some glossy accents for the nose, which we'll save the glossy accents until the end so we don't smear our hand through it. But that's a great way to add a lot of detail to the face. They're so, Kim goes, oh my, OMG, they are so precious. They are so cute. So, so cute. Okay, so we're just going to kind of pop this guy right here. And I did, as I mentioned, I pre-prepped just a little bit. So some things have got some foam on them, and we're going to pop that right there. Okay. We'll save those other two for just a second until we get our second otter in place. We are going to grab our brown blending brush and just a nice maybe a couple shades. We're going to use a little lighter brown, a little gathered twigs on the softer part of the body, which is some fawn cardstock. We're using fawn and truffle for our otter. Let's see. Oh, thank you so much, Patrice. That's so sweet of you. Thank you. Okay, let's do a little bit on the face layering as well. And again, I did ink up like the leaves and things with a little bit of green ink. And I did that just like we did for the first card, so that they have that beautiful shading. And even the little heart that this one's going to hold, I'm just going to add a tiny little bit of the brown ink to that. And I don't want to forget the tail. I'm using a little bit darker ink on the darker brown cardstock. And then all we're going to do is we're going to build our little otter here. So I'm going to layer the little tummy piece, or the body, I guess. Then we're going to layer the face right on top. And because I'm not worried about what goes back behind the eyes here, since I'm using those fashion pearls, we'll just leave it. And then we're going to glue these little front arms down. The otters are adorable. Yes, they are. Just, oh, good. I'm so glad you saved it so you can craft along later. I love that. That's perfect. Let's maybe put this heart down first. That might be a little bit better. Then we can attach this arm, because this arm's not wanting to stay put. I think I was trying to glue my glass mat. That's not gonna do anything. There we go. And then, of course, we do not want to forget the tail. How cute is that? So adorable. Okay, so then what I like to do before I attach this to my card, we are going to take some soft pink ink, and I'm going to use that smallest blending brush from Spellbinders, and we're going to give our little otter some nice little pink cheeks. So cute. Hello, Donna. How are you? It's so good to see you here. And then I'm going to grab my pearls. And to me, once you add your eyes in, that just transforms your adorable little otter so easily. So there's some cute little eyes. And then we're going to take a fine tip black pen, and I'm just going to come out from the eyes a little bit and add some little eyelashes. It's a little extra, but it's cute. Then you can always take a white pen, like a white jelly roll pen, and you can add a little highlight to your hearts and maybe even some little highlights to the cheeks. You can add them wherever you like. We're going to keep it pretty simple today. Loving the idea for the eyes. Awesome. I'm glad you love that. Oh, good. Stamp Owl says this time is great for her. She gets to watch in Australia. I love that. I'm going to get plenty of foam. Give me all the foam tape. How about you guys? Always need the extra, Donna says. You know me. I like all the little details. Those are my favorite things. Okay, this one is super easy to finish up. So we've got a beautiful foiled background. I might have to tilt it to get that foil to show a little bit. Just a beautiful tone on tone. So next, all we're going to do is we're going to pop our other little otter in place. We're going to glue or adhere, pardon me, down our sentiments. And I've got all of these popped up with some of the Spellbinders foam. Yes. Let's see. Mags Blue says it's the little things that make it come to life. I agree. So we're going to pop the rest or the second part of our sentiment right there. And then down here along the bottom, we're going to use the third stamped sentiment to kind of finish it off. But we definitely want to kind of bring our little hearts and florals. So I've already kind of made a little collage with the additional hearts and leaves and flowers. So that little flower head wreath that our owls were wearing, those little teeny tiny flowers actually look amazing tucked into some of these other arrangements. And you're going to see these used as well on our third card here in a second. I just found the florals super versatile. So we're kind of dress that up a little bit. And we can even, I think we'll put a little bit of greenery here too. So it kind of helps move your eye throughout the entire card. I'm not using these little pink, I'm using these little white flowers. So we'll just put one of these little white flowers here, and that's really it. All you need to do then is just pop it on to your card base. We're of course going to take a little pink gem in the little mini size. Oh, thank you guys. I'm glad you love it. Aren't those otters the sweetest? I just think they're the cutest thing. Super, super clever. I'm a sucker for all of the cute little critters. Okay, and then obviously since we're all done with our card, except for putting it on the card base, which we can do in a little bit. I'll grab some glossy accents, and we're just going to put that here on the nose, and we'll set it aside to let it dry. But I'll hold it up here. So here is our second little pair of cuties finished. How adorable is that? All right, for our third and final card today, I wanted to do a quick little embossing, with our embossing folder of the month. Didn't mean to knock everything over. And I'm going to show you that technique from the first card. So this card is going to feature our pair of tea mugs. And they have minimal stitching on them. So we're going to go ahead and emboss a 4 by 5 1/4 panel of waterfall cardstock. Who does not love this beautiful waterfall cardstock? It is one of my absolute favorites. And this too will be a very, very simple background. But you can dress it up with just a little bit of white pigment ink. So after you have embossed it like this, and this is exactly how I did the text background for this card, we're going to take that white pigment ink and you're just going to rub it on the embossed area really lightly. You don't want to go too heavy, and it's the raised area is going to hold on to your embossed ink just like this. And that kind of helps softly bring out the design without completely changing the color. And what you're going to end up with is a little something like this. So you can see, let's just knock all the things off that aren't attached. You can see that beautiful embossing background there. And we, of course, are going to use the adorable little stitched mugs. And this is from the Perfect Blend. And we are going to stitch the second mug and put it together. But I'm also utilizing that foiled, or pardon me, it's the die cut sentiment that we foiled that says, "Let's chat soon." And we're going to use those beautiful little flowers. So let's stitch up our little layering piece. And this is literally one of the easiest things to stitch. Some of my holes didn't pop out, but they'll pop out when I stitch. I like to start on one of these outer ones, and I've got 3 strands of some DMC pink embroidery floss on the poppy cardstock, and we're going to finish in the center all the way around. And I have super inky fingers by now, so don't look too close. Love the embossing. You're not too late, and you can always go back and watch from the beginning or go back when we're finished and catch the rest of the cards. I'm just starting on that third card, although this one will be really quick because a lot of it is done. And we definitely want to see what Yana has in store for us next with the January clubs. So you guys, let me know, what is your favorite product or favorite club from December? What was your favorite product? It's hard to pick. I really had a lot of favorites this month, or December. I guess not this month anymore. I'm still stuck in December. So we're coming from the outside and just going to the center on each of these. And what I like to do when I get back to the beginning is I'll just tie it into a little knot as flat as I can. And then we're going to glue it down to the base layer. So super simple stitching this month. It is nothing extravagant at all. And it adds a fun touch. Now, if you don't want to do stitching, what I love is that there is just the half heart die. So you can completely leave out your stitching holes all together. And then that's even quicker. I love the owls, so that's a must. Oh, great. So we'll put the mug on here and then we'll probably be done because I am sure it is time for Yana's video. So again, for my mug, I don't try to overthink it too much. I'm just going to put a little bit of whatever was left on my red blending brush on. And we're going to put, well, let's snip off a little bit of that excess thread. December was the first month I bought it all. Oh my goodness, Scarlet Designs. That's amazing. I love it. And we're just going to glue that down. I'm going to use my tweezers to hold that down for just a second. And then there's easy peasy layering pieces. Whoops. Try to be a little neater than me. I'm hurrying. For back behind. Oops, don't forget this. One of my favorite parts of this set is the little tea bag that hangs out. I think that's so cute. Oops, I need to add the little coffee or tea, pardon me. We're just going to tuck that right there. I actually really wanted this in front. Hold please while I fix this. There we go. I got the crate for January. Wonderful. Okay, same question. What's your favorite product from January? Okay. And then what I did for this cute little tea bag here, so it cuts the heart out, right? Well, instead, and you can layer it, so you don't really need the heart. Ugh. So sorry. I'm a little bit gluey and a little bit inky. Okay, so I saved the little heart and I actually used it here on my card. You can save those and I think they make wonderful little embellishments either on this card or something else. So let's just put a little foam on here and we'll kind of wrap up hummingbirds and fan card base. Oh, I know. Isn't that one gorgeous? I love the owls and otters too. The extra crate bonus dies. Yes. Those are always so fun. It's always, the bonus is always, always adorable. Okay. So what I wanted to show here, I love the little, how the little, it makes a little heart when they're paired together. How cute is that? And we're just going to pop that just like so. And from here, all you'll do is you will kind of tie it all together. So I'm going to show all three of my cards. Let's put the steam on and then let's just show all of our cards. Obviously, I'd add the rest of my little florals tucked around, and I'll take pictures of all of these and put them up on social media. But I was a little wordy, even though I thought I was super speedy. Okay, so let me grab these. And show all three of our fun little cards featuring some little duos there. Love it. Thank you so much, Scarlet Designs. Having a hard time trying to decide. Perfect. Aren't they fun? So it's really easy to mix and match. Thank you so much. They'll all be photographed here in just a minute, Scarlet Designs. As soon as we're done and as soon as I've watched Yana, I'll have all of them photographed. Donna Barlow, who are we kidding? I love it all. Utterly amazing. Oh, Yana, thank you. Thank you, Amy. Oh, you guys are so nice. The owl card, love it. Love the owls. Thanks, guys. They're really fun. So I did add some glossy accents to the little hearts on the tea bags and then the little heart up here as well. Okay, you guys, I think that is it for me today. Oh, the magnet tray liners, thank you. I'll show you really fast and then I'm going to sign off for today. So here is a die set that's in here. This is the magnet liners that go inside. And maybe they'll put that in the chat for you guys going forward. But these are fantastic and you can see that your dies stay put. Super, super awesome. Okay, let me just come back to you really fast. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Stay tuned for Yana's video next, and I will see you guys all later. Bye.
Aww.
That was so fun.
We seriously were sitting on two little stools here. We're just like, just totally fascinated.
Yeah,
excellent, excellent job. As always, Nichol, thank you so much for joining us. We were watching the comments too, and everyone's just, oh, I love it so much. So again, thank you, and we hope to have you again in the future in 2026 for sure. So Nichol did mention Yana's coming on soon, but first we're going to do a little quick walkthrough of our January club. That's mostly what Yana's going to be creating with. So we'll do that. And again, thank you for leaving comments. I kind of forgot to say, although Skylar put it in the comments, that if you guys comment, you're going to be entered to win a prize we'll give at the end of the program here today.
We give away 3 $25 gift cards that will automatically be added to your account.
Yeah, so fun. So let's take a look at January, Josie? So January, super popular. Sorry, I don't want to talk over you, but we do want to thank you guys all. As you'll see as we go through this crate, we've made some changes for January, and you guys loved the changes.
Everybody.
So much that we sold out of January.
Yes. So thank you guys so much for the positive feedback and really enjoying the clubs.
Absolutely. And so, once you've, kind of got your subscription going, it's really the best way to keep on track and keep getting those subscriptions coming, because if we do sell out, it's hard to get back in. If you, cancel or decide to skip a month, sometimes there's no guarantee you're going to get back in. So.
And in the crate, we have 2 exclusive products that you can't get outside of the crate. So just keep that in mind. And let's just jump in. So the name for January clubs is called Bloom Bright.
Bloom Bright.
Yeah, we always like to start January off with kind of just a happy kind of going into spring. It's cold everywhere right now except here. So hope this brings a little bit of sunshine to your day.
For sure.
So we're going to start with a stitch die. We're going to change things up. So this one is called Butterfly Dance. And again, I know that some of you guys don't love to stitch, but all of our stitch dies, you can do them without the stitching. And this one has very simple stitching. It's in the butterfly here, but look how effective that is.
So beautiful.
Yeah. And then you get this cloudscape in the back, and then you kind of get these cornflower flowers.
I love these.
Yeah, and I just cut out multiples just to do that on the back. And then this is the 2D folder that we'll show in a bit, and the stamp set.
I do want to come a tiny bit closer, Gavin, if you don't mind, just because Josie's designed these flowers with so much gorgeous detail. Look at that, you guys.
Yeah. And
the butterfly too. You see all the extra little score lines, and just a stunning, stunning die. Just had to give you some props, Jess.
Oh, thank you.
So stitch die. All right, stitch die for January.
What you got? This one is called Sunny Stems, and this creates 2 different things. So you can do a shaped card, or you can put it on an A2 card. But you also have all of these florals that you can use outside of the set. And you also have this kind of rays that you can also use independently of everything.
Love
and this
it
is something
so much.
that I drew, and we made it come to life, and I'm so happy with how it turned out.
It is so precious and so sweet. And again, you're starting to see projects pop up for sure on social media with January clubs, but I've seen people using so many combinations of these. It's awesome.
And the stamp set, there's sentiments that work right in this little area here.
Perfect.
And we still have to make a rainbow one. We haven't done that yet.
We need to do a rainbow one.
And then the next one here is called Hummingbird's Delight. And this one has quite a few different things in this set.
Large die.
Yes, this is the large die. So you get this amazing This is an A2 card front, but it has a stamp edge on the outside, but it's a Polaroid card
On
front.
the
Yeah,
inside.
I just thought just to do something
And that's
different.
an optional Polaroid, right? So you don't
Yep.
have to cut the window, but you can cut the
Yes.
window. Gotcha. Love it.
And then you get these two sweet little hummingbirds. You get this floral border, and this is kind of like a one and done. You cut it out, and then you just layer the flowers on top. If you flip
Cute.
it, you can do a full
Top and bottom.
top and bottom. You get this trumpet flower, and I think I show that. Yeah, I do. So if you turn this over, we always do step outs on our dies.
I love that education.
Yeah. And then you'll see here on this last box here, I just showed how to flip that and do a border around your card.
Cute. And I think these little hummingbirds are a little cheeky.
they're
They're
so
so
cute.
cute.
And the color combinations that we've been seeing on social media are amazing. People have done this in like really dark colors. It's stunning.
Ooh, pretty. So gorgeous large
Yes.
die. I'm sort of getting the picture why this sold out this month.
Yeah. The next one that we're going to show is the stamp and die. So this used to be a separate, like you could get the stamp or just the stamp and die, and we combined it into one. So now you get the die set with the stamp.
Kind of automatically combo.
Automatically.
Love it.
And this one is called Best Year Sentiments. Again, this is an evergreen sentiment set that you can use all year round. And I love just these big graphic
The
sentiments.
font is stunning.
I love it.
Love it.
Yeah. And so you get the dies to cut out all the words, and then there's supporting sentiments.
And look how
I know it's
fun the dies
Yeah.
are that they even cut like the inside of the letter. That's just a
Yeah.
really gorgeous little
here's
extra.
Here's smile,
Oh yeah.
and here's best wishes, and then you also
Well, there
get
you go.
you also get for you.
Cute.
Yeah. So there's and hello. So there's a lot in here.
Stamp and die. Check,
Oh.
check.
Yep. Here's hello, and here's this this in a really dark color
That's
with the bright
beautiful.
colors to make it pop. Next we have the postcard hello, and this is our press and foil.
Ah, so now we are no longer producing a glimmer plate that's just by itself.
And a separate better press.
right.
So it's the press and foil. So this does better press and foil. And you get this beautiful, again, kind of a male postcard theme here. And we'll show it better pressed, and we'll also show it glimmered.
Yeah.
So you guys get both views on the packaging.
The Better Press has always been 2 for 1, but we're really just kind of driving that home both in our packaging, and this is in our regular Spellbinders
Yeah.
core products too, not just club.
Yep, we're rolling it out in this month,
Yeah.
this coming month.
Yeah, so we're just really showing the versatility of the product.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yep, and you get 4 sentiments, and this is a one and done sentiment plate. So you run
Oh,
it through
that's
once,
fun.
and then
I
you die cut it
had
out all at
forgotten about
once.
that.
Yep. So that
One
there's
pass
that.
and you got 4 sentiments all done.
And then the next is the
Such a cute design too.
stencil of the month. This is a 5-layer stencil, and it's called Poppy Perfection. And I just wanted to do something really fun and graphic and easy to
Vibrant.
stencil. Yeah, I love this.
Woo.
And I've seen all different colorways in this too, and it looks
Yeah.
fantastic.
That is a great
Yep.
stencil. And stenciling is such a great, it's just an easy way to create a card. Quick, easy. And again, like you said, so versatile because you can change the colors.
Yeah, next we have
Love it.
the 3D folder, and this is called Cottage Wall. And we did a folder similar to this where you can use half of the folder and get one design and then use the other half to do, so it's 2 designs within one folder, or you can put your card base.
Like 5x7.
Yeah, you can
so
put your
many
panel in
different
different
ways.
areas, and you'll get different designs.
You can do it this way.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so there's a lot of different things. So here, let's see if we can get close in there to see the deep.
Maybe tip it toward me.
There we go. Yeah.
Ooh.
And that stripe, it's kind of a distressed stripe.
Love it.
Say that fast. Distressed
Distressed.
stripe. So that's 3D folder.
Beautiful. I love the big flower too.
Yes. Next we have the 2D folder, and this is called Cloud 9, and it's just this fun stylized cloud pattern that again works across the board with all the different sets.
Absolutely. Like Nicole just said, mix and match.
Yes.
So many cute things.
I always forget to show you guys the foil. This is polished brass, and this goes with the press and foil plate.
Right.
And this is new to the All Crate Club. It is the cardstock.
Oh,
Yeah.
people are excited about
Yes.
this.
So this is what we're calling our creative spark. So this is kind of to get you guys started with a color palette, and then you guys can add your colors or completely change the colors. But this is a great way to get introduced to our cardstock.
Should we open it?
Sure.
Are we going to get in trouble?
We'll probably get in trouble, but we're going to
It's
open
10 pieces, so I just want to quickly open
Yeah.
it just so you can see the colors.
it. Yeah, it's 10 full sheets.
Of course, as we know, you guys are going to create with so many different colors, but I think this is Kind of a fun way to get you creatively sparked, right?
Yeah, and there's still a lot of people that haven't tried our cardstock. It's 100 pounds, solid core cardstock, and it die cuts beautifully. Look how pretty those are.
I mean, they just feel like I just want to dive in and make all these cute cards.
Yeah.
Ooh, love it. And so Josie's going to pick, every month she picks, kind of like she said, a creative pack. It's going to be different every month. It's going to most likely be reflected in some of the projects that we show. But it is just to get you started. So 10 full sheets. Love it.
And next we have the exclusive. So we have the crate exclusive.
The crate exclusive.
Yes.
Love it.
And this one is called, where is the name of it? It's called Everbloom, and it's this card front that you can do a shaped card. Again, I love doing shaped cards. I think it just kind of takes it to a whole nother level.
So elegant.
Yeah, it's really pretty. I don't think we've ever done anything like this. And you know what I forgot?
What did you forget?
The bonus item in the box.
Oh, she forgot the bonus item. Well.
You know what? I'll pull that. I'll go find the bonus item.
While Yana's crafting.
Yes, while
We'll
Yana's
do that.
crafting, and then we'll show you.
So the crate exclusive, I mean, I've heard some people call this a bonus item. It's not really what I would say is a bonus item. It is an exclusive in the All Clubs crate, but it is a full-size die. Like, it's a big die.
It's in between the small die and the large die, so you'll either get a die or sometimes we'll do a better press plate.
Yeah,
a press
just
and
some
foil.
really
so
nice
one
exclusive.
or the other is an exclusive, and you can only get this in the All Clubs crate.
In the All Clubs crate, exactly. So you are loving it, you guys. And again, thank you so much for your excellent response. We'll just have this nice little pile here as we get ready to bring Yana in. Yana's not going to be here on camera today because we are broadcasting a little bit later than normal. She, I think, is probably all tucked up in bed already.
Yeah.
So we're picturing her with her turban on, her eye mask, her slippers, but she's still in the comments.
A glass of wine.
So we had to tease Yana a little bit. But Yana did pre-record an amazing tutorial for you. She is using a lot of these products that you're seeing right here. And you know Yana, she's always going to come up with something special. So we will go ahead and roll Yana's thing. Again, she'll be in the comments, and then we'll be right back here with you as soon as we are done crafting with Yana. Take it away.
Well, hello, crafty friends. Yana Supplies here. Super excited to be joining you for our next Club Along event. I hope you guys are enjoying these Club Alongs as much as I am, because honestly, I will use any excuse to sneak into my crafty corner and create something fun. Today, I'm creating with the Spellbinders Stencil of the Month for January 2026, and this is Poppy Perfection. I personally love poppies. I feel like they're beautiful flowers, and if you know me, maybe you've been following me around, you know that I also have a poppy collection with Spellbinders. It is a small but mighty collection. So naturally, I was kind of drawn to this poppy stencil because I really wanted to create with it. So the poppy stencil, it includes 6 layers. There are 5 sheets, and that might be a little bit confusing because one sheet actually has 2 layers to it. So if you look at the sheet number 3 and 4, the sheet that looks like this, it includes 3 layers. You have layer 3 and layer 4 in here. But I'll walk you through this a little bit more in detail once I get to this layer. Now for my color combination, poppies come in so many different colors. It is actually a common misconception to think that poppies only come in red. But you can find pink poppies, you can find orange poppies, yellow poppies, purple, you name it. All colors of the rainbow poppies are available in those colors. So today I brought in my Hero Arts ink pads, and I did a little swatch for me to make it easier for me to pick the colors. I used to have this nice and big swatch of all of the Hero Arts ink colors, but I couldn't find it. I don't know what happened to it. And when I was kind of planning what I wanted to do for this card today, I was having a hard time selecting the colors for my card. So finally, I just swatched the colors that I was interested in the most on this little sheet of cardstock, and that gave me a fairly good idea of what colors I want to use. That being said, if you are following along, if you have inks that you haven't yet swatched, go ahead and swatch them. This is going to save you so much time and so much heartache because, you know, sometimes we start ink blending something and the cover of the ink pad might look a little bit different than the actual ink color inside. So having a little swatch, even something as basic as this, is super helpful. So for my color combination today, I'm going to work with pink grapefruit and shade it with pale tomato. Next, I will use pale tomato and shade it with cranberry. Next, I will use cranberry and shade it with crimson. As you can see, I have my main color and my shading color for all of my petals, just because I want to do a little bit of that fun shading and blending to have more depth to my projects or to my images. I will also use Butterbar for the flower centers. And then for my green colors, I have the lighter green, which is the green apple, and then forever green. And I also brought in charcoal because, again, this will be used for like the little teeny tiny center of the flowers. I also have blending brushes from Spellbinders. I'll be using the large and fluffy blending brushes, as well as the detailed blending brushes. And in fact, I have been organizing them before I started filming this video. I wanted to label all of them, and let me show you. So I printed little labels and I added them to a lot of my brushes because I wanted to know what color it is. So here, for example, it says Spellbinders dark gray. Not necessarily Spellbinders, it just says dark gray. So I know that I can use this brush for the dark gray color. And then I have the other size marked as dark gray, and then the smaller size as well. So these come 3 in a pack, and I decided I would dedicate like 1 pack to one particular color. Like a dark gray, light gray, dark red, light red, and so on. And this is just a little bit of housekeeping and organizing. It helps me create better, I would say. Because, I have my tools, I have my inks, I know where everything is nice and labeled, and this just gives me a better end result. Anyhow, this video is not about that. This video is about creating, but I still wanted to share a little bit of that with you, because I love to share little bits, little things like that. On my craft desk, I have this mat. This is a sticky mat from Alt New. This is designed specifically for stenciling. There are many mats like this on the market where the mat is sticky. It can hold your paper in place, and it can also hold your stencil in place. So if you have one, go ahead and grab it and use it. If you don't have one, don't worry. You can still use your stencils and still do ink blending. You'll just need to do a little bit more taping to make sure everything is taped together and stays together in one place. I am also going to use the Spellbinders Best Ever Craft Tape. I have the widest width, I'm losing my words, and I'm just going to add a little bit of tape on the sides just to be extra secure. I want to make sure that my stencil is not going to move once I start doing my ink blending. And now we're pretty much done. We can go ahead and start blending. I'm going to start with my first color, which is the pink grapefruit. So I'm going to grab my blending brush and load it up. I like to start with the large blending brushes because, if I am to ink blend a large area, I will start with a large blending brush because I can pick up a whole bunch of color and apply that color quickly onto my panel. So here you can see this literally took a couple of seconds. I'm done with the pink grapefruit, and like I mentioned earlier, I'm going to shade the pink grapefruit with pale tomato. Pale tomato is a light red ink, so I'm just going to quickly try and find my light red blending brush. There it is. I labeled it light red. Looks like I haven't even used it yet. So I do have some brushes that I've, dedicated to particular colors, or particular shades, but I haven't really used them yet, and that's okay. So I'm just going to load up my brush and bring a little bit of this pale tomato color around some of the images or some of the petals, some of the shapes, because I want to add a little bit more depth to these, particularly to these 4 shapes, because these are the poppies that haven't yet opened up. These are poppy buds, and I want them to look a little bit more dimensional on the finished card, and to do that, I do need to add a little bit of that pale tomato blending. In fact, I might even go into, what's the next color? Cranberry or crimson, and get a little bit of that to add even more shading on these. Let's see. Let me go ahead and quickly finish this. Okay, looks fantastic. I'm going to keep my brush here so I don't lose it. And then let's go ahead and grab cranberry because I do want to add a little bit more ink, but maybe I switch to the medium brush. By the way, sometimes my brushes go stiff. If I have used them before, you might notice this. So the brushes might go stiff. If they go stiff, I just use a little cloth and I try and break the bristles apart. It just depends on the type of ink that you are using. So if your brushes get stiff, just break them up using a little cloth and you should be good to go. I like these brushes because they pick up just the teeniest, tiniest amount of ink. And this is exactly what I want because I don't want to add too much ink here. I just want to add a tiny little bit to these sections. Okay, this is looking good. Let me put my brush back into the holder. And we can go ahead and remove the tape. We're going to reuse this tape. That's the beauty of the best ever craft tape. It is reusable. You can reuse it multiple times. And our first layer is done. It doesn't look like much yet, but believe me, as we continue to add layers, it is going to look so much better. Okay, so next I have layer number 2. By the way, I forgot to mention this, but all of these are etched and labeled. You also have little corners or little marks etched in the corners, and these are there to help you align your stencils on your paper. So give me a second to do just that. Okay, this looks good. Grab my tape, tape it down just in case. Okay, and we're blending this layer now with pale tomato. Remember, we used pink grapefruit for the first layer. This is our pink grapefruit brush. Going to set that one aside. Next, I'm going to grab pale tomato. Now, this blending brush looks a little bit too dark for me. I feel like I have too much, yeah, and it's not even the right color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some time to clean it. I don't have a brush dedicated to every ink color. So if I see that a brush is, has some leftover color from a previous blending session and it's not the color that I want to use, I will just blend it off onto a scrap piece of paper. And that usually helps to, get the residual ink off the brush and help me switch to the new color. Okay, let's go ahead and quickly apply the pale tomato. Gosh, I love these brushes because I can just add a whole lot of color so easily and so effortlessly. Look at that, done. I mean, that took like 15 seconds or maybe even less than that. So pale tomato, and we're shading with cranberry. So let me go grab my dark red blending brush, load it up, and add a little bit of this cranberry color around the edges. Again, not too much, just a little bit so that we have some nice and neat shading. I could come in with a big and fluffy blending brush, but I feel it might be too big to add the detail blending. So this is why I'm using this detail blending brush for this particular step. I feel like adding this shading makes all the difference. And you can take your time, you can spend more time blending and shading these petals. I'm just going to do like a quick color application. Okay, this looks good. Let's remove the tape and take a look at our result. Oh, isn't that beautiful, guys? That looks so good. I'm loving this stencil. Okay, moving on to stencil layer number 3. Actually, you know what? I think I need to zoom in just a little bit so you guys can see this a bit better. I feel like this is better now. Okay, moving on to layer number 3. So layer number 3, remember, this is on a sheet with 2 layers. This sheet also doesn't have the corner marks because it won't align the way the previous sheets did. So with this particular sheet, we're just going to need to do a little bit more masking to make sure we don't blend these sections that we don't want to blend. Okay, so I've positioned my stencil on my paper. Next, I'm going to tape it down with tape. Next, I'm going to use a little bit more of my yellow tape and tape over these sections, these circles, because we don't want to blend them just yet. These are not on the stencil layer. This is layer number 4, and we're blending layer number 3. I also need to protect this top area because I'm a messy blender, and I know the minute I start blending, we're gonna have ink all over this place. So what I have here, and this is actually a fun little thing that I created for myself, for my craft room. I have a whole bunch of clear acetate card bases in my stash. But I don't really use those clear card bases because I don't really make clear cards. I love them. They look fantastic. I love it when other people do them or make them. I don't know. I can never make clear card-based cards myself. So I had these lying around in my drawer and taking space, and finally I decided I'm just going to cut them into little sheets, acetate sheets, and use these when I do ink blending to protect my paper from unwanted ink. I also added yellow tape at the top. You know why? Because I kept losing those. This is like a clear cutting plate on your desk. You know, you place it somewhere, and because it's clear, especially if it's brand new, it is so hard to find. Like, literally, I can turn my entire desk upside down and still not be able to find that plate. So to make sure I will always be able to find this little sheet, I added a little bit of yellow tape. If you want to do the same, you know, and if you don't have yellow tape, for example, you can mark it with washi tape. Here, for example, I have some old washi tape on my desk or anything. Just make sure it's colorful so you can easily spot it on your craft desk mess. Or maybe you're not messy. I don't know. I am messy, so I need this. Now, if you don't have clear card bases to make these acetate sheets from, you can use product packaging, acetate from the product packaging just as easily for that. So there's lots of things you can do. Okay, let me pop this in place. And again, it sticks to the sticky mat nicely. Okay, cool. And we're going to move on to our next layer. And let me just double check my little sheet. So we're ink blending with cranberry and shading with crimson. Okay, grabbing my next blending brush. Let's just double check the color of this brush. Okay, looks good. And we're going to go ahead and ink blend this cranberry layer. Ooh, this is so good. We are making red poppies. I should have mentioned that. I know I said that poppies come in so many different colors, but for this card, I just wanted to do the traditional red, nice and vibrant red with different shades of red. So this is what we're aiming for. Look at that, so quick and easy. And remember, we're shading with crimson. So let me grab my detail dark red blending brush. And I particularly want to shade these little pieces here because I want them to be a little bit more prominent on the finished card. So this is where I'm going to focus my shading the most. Also, maybe just a little bit here. Yeah, okay, and a couple more details over here. Okay, looks good. By the way, I'm not cleaning my stencils right now as I ink blend. Usually I do clean as I go, but for the sake of the video, I'm just setting them aside. Although, for this particular layer, I would recommend we go ahead and clean it because we're going to be blending these little circles next, and we don't want to get ink contamination. So let me just quickly wipe my stencil clean, remove the tape, and we can go back to our beautiful background. Okay, so now we are aligning these little centers. By the way, I did blend this a couple of times before I started filming, and personally, I feel like I would want to come back to this layer number 4 once everything else is blended. So for now, I'm just going to set it aside, and we will come back to it later once we add the foliage. Okay, next we have layer number 5. And again, this one is easy to align. It kind of snaps right into place. So make sure you have it positioned correctly. Tape it down. By the way, I should have mentioned this. This segment is pre-recorded. And if you have questions, please leave them in the comments below. Hopefully I'm right there with you and I can answer your questions so we can, create and chat. I have masked the foliage above and below the flower centers, these two. There's also this one. We're going to come back to it in a second. And we're going to ink blend the flower centers. This is a mistake that I did when I was ink blending my test panels. I just ink blended the whole thing with green ink, and I ended up having green flower centers. Let me show you that card. Here you go. See? I mean, it looks fun, but I really wanted the flower centers to be yellow. So make sure you take care of this step. Otherwise, you're going to get green flower centers. I'm going to use my dark yellow blending brush, and I am blending with Butter Bar. Butter Bar is like the all-time favorite yellow ink from Hero Arts. I remember myself using this ink for many, many years. And it's just such a nice and vibrant and happy and cheerful yellow. I don't know. I kind of want to keep reaching for that color over and over again. Okay, with that done, and did you notice how much longer it took to ink blend those flower centers when I was ink blending with a small detail blending brush? Detail blending brushes are fantastic when you need to add detail, but the large and fluffy brushes are also fantastic when you're blending a large area. Just something to keep in mind because, you kind of need to have different size brushes when you are creating. Okay, let's go ahead and mask those flower centers that we just blended. We also need to do this one. Maybe I don't mask anything around this. Maybe I'll be careful. Sometimes, if I'm blending a small area and I'm using a detail blending brush, I don't always mask because I kinda can be careful. Like with this. This worked out well. Let me just clean that. Tape it with a little piece of tape so that we don't blend over this. And now we are ready to ink blend the green ink. I have my large fluffy green blending brush and we're going to blend with green apple. This is going to go really quickly because of that large blending brush, and look at that. Oof, I love how easily I can apply this color or any color onto my paper with these large blending brushes. By the way, when you are blending, you can also often go outside the edge of the stencil and you can have ink residue on your sticky mat, especially if you're using a sticky mat. So that's something to keep in mind because let's say I had red ink left over here and now I'm ink blending with green and I'm going outside the edge of this panel and I'm picking up that red and I'm bringing this back onto my panel and I can mess it up easily. So, it helps to clean as you go. It helps to be mindful of, where ink can land on your work surface because we've all had inky fingers. We've all left inky fingerprints and smudges on our finished projects, and nobody wants to do that. We just want to have fun. We just want to have beautiful cards, and we just want to create and enjoy, and we don't want to, have to fix mistakes. Okay, look at that. Oh my gosh. This looks so good. So good. I am going to do just a teeny tiny bit of blending with the Forever Green. This is my dark green. I have my dark green blending brush. Just a little bit. It probably won't even be visible, but I do want to add it anywhere where I have images overlapping and casting shadows on the leaves behind them. Like here, and maybe a little bit over here as well. Ooh, I'm loving, loving, loving this. Now this stencil, again, I should have mentioned this earlier. This stencil is sized for A2. So the size of the panel that I'm working on is 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. You can try and adapt it to larger card sizes. I mean, you can definitely ink blend this on a larger size card, but this is designed for A2. You can also do partial ink blending or like ink blend a part of this design if you want. Okay, let's remove this layer and take a look. Oh my goodness. Now our background is really starting to take shape. We just have technically one layer left, like the stems, and then we will go back to the flower centers. So this is now stencil layer number 6. Let's go ahead and quickly and easily align this on our panel. Okay, and again, this layer has 2 images, so you will need 2 colors of ink, and you will need to either mask or be careful when you do your blending. So there is the flower centers, yellow. You can ink blend these using different shades of yellow, and perhaps I might go ahead and grab like an orange color. I didn't think of this ahead of time, just because I messed up my previous blending. But you know what? No, it kind of does look nice. I don't think I need to have another color. So I'm just going to keep this as is with the centers blended with a butter bar. Let's go ahead and wipe this clean. Tape over this. Okay. Now we just have the stems to ink blend. And for the stems, I'm going to use Forever Green. Love this color. This is like a butter bar, but just in a green shade. Load my blending brush. This is my dark green. And go ahead and apply this beauty onto my paper. Oh, so good. I might come in with that lighter green, the green apple at the bottom, and kind of meet the 2 colors in the middle, just to have some color variation on my stems. Yeah, I think this looks good. And also, I sometimes like to go over my ink blending with another color of ink, just to change that previously blended color slightly. This is a very helpful tip, especially when you don't have enough ink colors in your stash. Okay, let's wipe this clean and take a look. You guys excited? We're almost ready. This is like 99% done. Oh, love it. Josie did such an amazing job designing this stencil. I just absolutely love it. Okay, next, or the final step, is to add those little flower centers. Again, I'm going to tape this in place. I'm not going to mask this section because I know I'll be using a detail blending brush, so hopefully I will be very, very careful. And I'm using charcoal ink. And I'm ink blending this so that there's like a little bit of a halo in the center. So I have like a darker gray on one side and it almost fades into white. Like that. Let's take a look. Oh, this is perfect. Don't you guys love it? Look at that beautiful panel. Now that the panel is exposed, make sure that your hands are clean. No inky fingers because we don't want to mess it up. With the panel created, you can now make it any kind of card you want. It all depends on the sentiment. I always lag birthday sentiments or birthday cards in my stash, so I'm going to turn this into a birthday card. I want to stamp Smile from the Clear Stamp and Die of the Month Club for January 2026. I will stamp this directly onto my panel. And while I'm doing this, I also have my Glimmer Hot Foil system heating up off to the side, and I want to foil a sentiment, a happy birthday sentiment from the Ideal Moment sentiments set. I will cut it out and pop it onto my card. It is that one product is not a club product. Everything else is from the club. Okay, I have my Misty stamping tool. I'm going to place my panel inside the Misty, hold it down with a magnet. I'm not sure if I want to angle my Smile or keep it straight. I do like the angled look, so maybe I'll do that. Okay, angle that. Close the lid of my Misty, pick it up. Next, I need to grab my black ink pad. Ink this up and go ahead and stamp it onto our panel. It is always a little tricky when you do stamping directly onto the panel. I'm always afraid to mess it up. That's why I try and use Misty, because if I do mess it up, I have Misty or another stamp platform to the rescue. And also with the Misty, I can kind of layer and stamp this multiple times until I have the desired intensity of the ink. So here I've stamped this 3 times now. And hopefully you can see this a little bit better. You can see how nice and crisp that is. Beautiful. This is why I love, stamping and ink blending, because I can layer things, one thing on top of another. And fast forward through the magic of pre-recorded video, I give you my finished card. I added this onto a red card base. This is a poppy cardstock from Spellbinders. This is A2 side folding. Whenever I have simple cards like this with a simple card front, like a card front on a white background, I like to add pops of color, and I do that by introducing colored cardstock. Here you can see I introduced a little bit of colored cardstock with my sub-sentiment, the happy birthday foiled in opaque white foil, and also to the card base. I added a white panel. This is 3 1/4 by 5 inches added onto the inside of the card base, for a place to write a personalized message. And it just, I feel like adding a panel to the inside of the card kind of helps to complete the card. And finally, I added a couple of red gems, and that finished my project. Super simple card, yet I enjoyed creating every minute of this project, featuring the January 2026 stencil of the month. Okay, let's go back to the studio and see what Kim and Josie have for us.
Well,
Beautiful as always.
thank you so much, Yana. So many tips and tricks loaded in that video. Awesome. Josie and I were just saying, we don't use stencils enough.
No.
Usually she'll make like her club card and some other cards, but then it's hard to go back.
I don't really get to play because we're always so far ahead.
She's on to the next thing.
We're on to the next thing, but yeah, that was beautiful. And I love how gutsy you are, Yana, that you stamped right on top of your stenciling.
Yep.
Perfect. Yeah. So.
Oh my goodness. So this is a good time to bring up, I know Yana used that glimmer right at the very end, but I just wanted to remind you that we do have a challenge now on our blog. So you guys check it out. There's been some social media things about it, but check out our blog, and we have a January Glam challenge.
Yes, and
it's
Skylar's
all
gonna
about
put a
hot
link.
foiling.
Yes, and Skylar's going to put a link in the chat.
Perfect.
So you guys can easily find it. But yeah, join. I think, is there a prize, Skylar?
Of course. She's over there. I can't talk. I don't have a mic. The prize is rewards points. So you get a bunch of extra rewards points.
Awesome.
I think I have it down here. 2,500.
Oh, that's a lot.
Ooh. So if you get that, you're basically getting a store credit for shopping on the website. So super cool. Definitely worth it to join that challenge. And we're trying to do these every so often just to get you guys crafting more.
Yeah.
Like we want to challenge you, excite you, inspire you, so you can get you using that product for sure. Okay, so before we jump in, we want to circle back just real quick to our January club, because we didn't have the actual extra little bonus item.
No, it was in my craft room.
Let's show it right now.
So the bonus for January is a stencil that works with the press and foil.
Yes. So this is a little bit different project than we had before. So it's a stencil that fills in all the sweet little coloring on your little postcard.
It makes it
cute.
so quick and easy just to add that color.
Absolutely. So just to remind you that when you do order the All Clubs crate, you get the crate exclusive, you get your exclusive paper pack, and you always get some kind of bonus item. It switches up every month.
All the time. It could be a die, it could be a stamp set, it could be better press. So it's whatever we're offering. It could just be one extra item that works with the kit, or it stands on its own.
Yeah, so definitely valuable to join that All Clubs crate. And as we're just going to sadly remind you that January is sold out. And absolutely the best way to keep on continuous is just keep a hold of those subscriptions. And of course, we always try to somehow predict how many people are going to want to join every month. And we do our best, guys,
Yeah,
we
it's
promise,
hard.
but
It's hard.
stick with us for sure. Okay, so we talked about the challenge. We have to announce some winners for sure, and we'll do that maybe real quick, and then we'll announce the names of who wins from the commenting today. So do you want to do the sneak peek first?
Yes, I do.
Let's do it. She's
So-
going to go grab it.
Grab it.
This
I'm
is for
here.
our,
So our
February clubs.
Yep. So February.
Did I say February a few minutes ago, by the way? I hope not.
I don't-
January clubs sold out. February.
I can't
This is
remember
our
what month
sneak
it is.
peek.
It's gone by so fast, everybody. But yes, this is February sneak peek.
Ah, we know what it's
So-
all about.
Do you guys know what size it is, though?
Ooh. You're going to tell them?
No, I'm not.
Oh,
I'm not. I'm going to keep you
let
guys
him guess.
guessing.
I'll tell them, guys. This is the large die of the month for
Yes.
February.
It's so fun.
We just finished all the photos for the clubs, and they're so cute. They're not all bunnies for sure. You're
No.
going to get a variety of really, really cute spring things. But we thought we'd give you a little sneak peek. It's always fun.
Yeah.
Give you a little tease. All right. So now we have some winners. We are going to announce them. You want to do the first one?
Yeah.
And this is winning a $25 store credit. And Skylar is so on the ball. I think she already has these credited on your account.
Yeah.
So
The first
awesome.
winner is Jill McAvely.
McGowley?
McAvely?
McGowley.
Is that
Owley.
McAvely? What's a U?
Let us know.
Yeah.
That's not so hard. Oh, this one's a little bit easier.
That one's easier.
Aline Frederick is our second winner.
And the
Yay,
last one
congratulations.
is Monica Finley.
Hey, Monica. Okay,
Go
so those are our
shopping,
3
yes.
winners. We, as always, appreciate you guys joining us for the club along. Again, we do them about every other month. We try to get you again inspired to get your club products out and use them and craft and have so much fun. So again, thank you so much. I
Thank
think
you.
we've pretty much got it wrapped
Yeah.
up, right? All right. So we will see you in a couple months to debut our February and March clubs.
Yes.
So we'll see you then. Thanks so much for
Bye.
joining us.